The dense forests of the Pacific Northwest held many secrets, but none as elusive as the legend of Bigfoot. Locals spoke in hushed tones about the creature, a shadow that slipped through the trees, seen only in fleeting glimpses and whispered about in late-night campfire tales. It was a chilly autumn evening when Emma and her younger brother Luke decided to explore the woods near their family cabin. They had heard the stories their entire lives, but never believed them. To them, Bigfoot was just a myth, a tale to frighten children. Equipped with flashlights and a sense of adventure, they ventured deeper into the forest than ever before. As they walked, the canopy above thickened, blotting out the waning light. The air grew colder, and the familiar sounds of the forest began to change. What once was the gentle rustle of leaves and distant bird calls turned into an eerie silence, broken only by the occasional snap of a twig underfoot. "Are you sure this is a good idea?" Luke asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "Don't be such a chicken," Emma replied, trying to sound braver than she felt. "It's just a forest. There's nothing out here but trees and animals." They continued on, their flashlights casting long, wavering shadows. Suddenly, Luke stopped, grabbing Emma's arm. "Did you hear that?" Emma listened intently. At first, there was nothing but the wind rustling through the branches. Then she heard it, a low, guttural growl, so faint it was almost imperceptible. "It's probably just a bear," she said, though her voice wavered. "Let's keep moving." They pressed on, but the sense of unease grew. The growl had unsettled them both, and the deeper they went, the more they felt as if they were being watched. Shadows danced at the edges of their vision, and strange noises seemed to come from all around them. After what felt like hours, they stumbled upon a small clearing. In the center was an old, dilapidated cabin, covered in moss and vines. The windows were shattered, and the door hung ajar. "Let's check it out," Emma said, her curiosity getting the better of her fear. They approached the cabin cautiously, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. Inside, it was clear no one had been there for years. Dust covered every surface, and the air was thick with decay. As they explored, Luke found a stack of old journals on a rickety table. He picked one up, its leather cover cracked and brittle. "Look at this," he said, handing it to Emma. She opened the journal, her eyes scanning the yellowed pages. It was a diary, filled with entries from someone who had lived in the cabin long ago. One entry caught her eye. "June 15th, 1952. I've seen it again. The creature they call Bigfoot. It watches from the trees, always just out of sight. I fear it knows I'm here. I must be careful." Emma's heart raced as she read the words. "This can't be real," she whispered. Suddenly, a loud crash came from outside. They spun around, their flashlights illuminating the doorway. Standing there, framed by the night, was a massive figure, covered in dark fur, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. "Run!" Emma shouted, grabbing Luke's hand. They bolted from the cabin, their flashlights bobbing wildly as they tore through the forest. Behind them, the creature gave chase, its heavy footfalls echoing through the trees. Breathless and terrified, they finally burst out of the forest and into the clearing near their cabin. They didn't stop until they were safely inside, locking the door behind them. "What was that?" Luke panted, his face pale. "I don't know," Emma replied, her mind reeling. "But it was real." The next morning, they found strange, oversized footprints around their cabin. The legend of Bigfoot was no longer just a story to them. It was a living, breathing reality, one that lurked in the shadows of the forest, always watching, always waiting. And from that day on, they never ventured into the woods alone again, knowing that some mysteries are best left undisturbed. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and subscribe for more tales of mystery and wonder. Until next time, keep exploring and stay curious.